What's up, FPS family? Today I've got a video for you with 4 tips that are going to take your gameplay to the next level. These are the most common mistakes I see in low elo players, and by removing all these, by working on all these things, this will take you to the platinum level, maybe even diamond level if you have that potential already. So let's get right into the tips. Tip number 1. The first tip I have for you that's going to greatly improve your gameplay is movement. Depending on what game you came from, if you came from CSGO, you know how important movement is in Valorant. If you came from a different game like Call of Duty or Fortnite, movement doesn't matter when it comes to shooting in those games. In those games, you can move and shoot and be just as accurate, maybe more accurate if you prone or if you crouch, but you're still very accurate while running. In Valorant, it is nothing like that. In Valorant, if you are moving, you are very inaccurate. Your spray pattern is going to go everywhere, so you're going to see people using guns like Spectres, SMGs, shotguns, things that don't get affected by that movement spread as much. You'll see those guns used a lot in lower ranks, and people are going to rely on those guns because they work when you move. But when you get at a longer distance, that no longer works. And if you try to do this with a gun like a Vandal or a Phantom, it's going to go everywhere, and you're not going to be able to hit a single target. So when you do shoot, make sure you stop before every shot. In the case of Valorant, you could simply let go of the direction key you are holding. So if you're holding A to go left, you could let go, and once you let go, you can come to a full stop and then shoot. You'll also see your crosshair. Your crosshair in your settings, you could set it to where it shows movement error, so your crosshair will get bigger when there's error, and it'll come back together when there is no error. So that can help a lot when you're learning movement. You could also do what's called counter strafing, where if you're holding A to go left, you would quickly tap D to stop your movement. It'll bring you to a stop at about the same rate as just letting go, but this can be later used for counter strafing to peek. So you go left, you peek, and you press right, and you start moving right, but in that second that you stop, you could take some shots. Tip number 2. The second tip is to work on your aim. If you go on my channel, there is a dedicated video. There's actually 2 dedicated videos to improving your aim. There's a video on how much improvement you can make by training just 30 minutes every day on an aim trainer. But if you don't want to spend time on an aim trainer, you could simply go and practice on bots in the range like I do here. This will still improve your aim. You could work on your spray control. You could practice switching between targets, taking a couple shots, but make sure you're warming up before your games, especially if you're going to play competitive. Make sure you hop in, at least spend 5-10 minutes shooting at some bots. The second thing is crosshair placement. Crosshair placement is very important in this game, and having good crosshair placement is more important than having good aim. If you have good crosshair placement, you won't have to react as much when you see your targets. You could practice this in range also by choosing a character like Sage and putting up a wall and then peeking around the wall at bots and trying to keep that crosshair on the head level. This will let you react quicker, so when you come around a corner, you're not aiming at their feet and you start shooting at their feet doing little damage, or you're aiming at their torso and you do less damage, because headshots are the quickest way to get kills, so you're aiming at their head when you come around the corner. You also reduce the time of reaction, so you're already on their head, so you don't have to swing up, you don't have to flick to the right, to the left to get to their head. You're already there. When you're learning this, you could also go in game in a private match, and you could find landmarks that'll help you identify headshot level. So on games with the boxes, headshot level is going to be just below the top of the box, so about head height from the top of the box. And in this game, as long as you're at the same elevation, no matter how far you are from the target, headshot level is going to be the same. So unless you're on a different elevation, that changes things. But as you practice this more and more, you'll get used to adjusting where headshot level will be compared to elevation. Tip number 3. The third tip is character selection. With all the characters currently in Valorant and more coming out every act, it is important to focus on a few and master them. You would be surprised how many times you'll see someone pick a character they've never played and perform 5-6 tiers lower than they would normally. This happens even to me. If I am forced on a character I don't play often, I perform half as well. And you could see a diamond player playing like a gold player if he doesn't understand the champion. I would say select 1, 2, or maybe 3 champions, preferably 1 or 2, and master them. Use them every single game if you can. Don't be toxic about it. Don't insta-lock, but try to use them every single game. That way you learn their kits, you learn how they work. You'll get used to when abilities are good to use and when they're not good to use. You'll learn from experience where it works and where it doesn't work. You could also watch pros use those characters, and you could learn the different things that accompany those characters. You could also take a character like Cypher or Brimstone and go on an offline match and learn the lineups. If you learn Brimstone Molly lineups on attacking side, if you get bomb plant, it's almost a guaranteed round. This is going to secure you so many rounds. Same thing with Cypher. If you learn all the Cypher trips, good camera placements, this will help you on retakes so much, and it makes the difference between a round that is won and a round that is lost. And you can see how this snowballs, and in time, it's going to help improve your rank so much when you're taking those extra rounds and stacking them on top of each other. And the final tip. The final tip is team play. This is probably the hardest one of them all. Valorant is a team-based game, and the more you work together as a team, the more successful you'll be. This one's really hard because sometimes, especially at lower elo, you run into people that are many levels lower than you are, skill level wise, and they have no idea what they're talking about, they have no idea what they're doing, and you end up kind of doing your own thing. And you're doing good, you could have the most kills, but you could be doing nothing for the team. If you're a Raze that goes A every single round, gets 2-3 kills, but your team goes B and everyone dies, you're still going to lose. On the other hand, you could go to B with them, even if the enemy team's stacking it and you know it's a bad idea, and get 1 or 2 kills, and that could influence the round to being a round 1. Even I struggle with this one sometimes. But it's so important to just play as a team, have humility. There's so much more for you to learn always. If Hiko, a pro level player, says that he learns something new every single day on this game, I think you and me could learn something new every single day too. And if you take every game as a learning experience, I guarantee you, you won't take criticism in a bad way. So try implementing these 4 tips in your game and see what happens. Tell me down below, did it work for you? What rank are you now? What rank were you before this? Thanks for sticking around for the whole video. If you liked it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And comment down below if you want to see more content like this. Peace out.